Yes, turn that off. Turn that off for a bit. And let the fuel fill up. Richard O'Connor falls ill. He didn't do very well, did he? Fallen ill on exercise. We have spare dockyards. Excellent. So we've built all our funky stuff. Let's go and pick something to build now. Let's have a look at the research levels that we've got for the Navy. So we've got 1936 level destroyers. They're going to be kind of key. So I think we should start building those. As Britain, one way to easily lose the war is to allow all the sea zones to be raided by German submarines. So you're going to need lots of destroyers to escort the convoys. It's not only escorting your troops and supplies going out, it's escorting all the resources coming in. So we kind of need that. So we are going to build some destroyers. Put it on that one and this class here. So this is going to be infinite. And let's have them. Do we have a fleet? This is Reserve Fleet 1. So I'm going to put them so they go straight into Reserve Fleet 1. And then as soon as they're built, in fact, you may as well go into Reserve Fleet 1 as well. And then this way, the ships automatically go into here. We're going to put some guy in, doesn't really matter who. Arthur Power, I guess he will do. We can always transfer him out later if we want him back. And we're going to set these guys off training. And we also, if it's one of these fleets, turn it to automatic split off. So if something gets damaged, it will split off and it will start repairing. And do not engage. Otherwise, they can end up getting into fights. In fact, it's probably a good idea to put it on a nice quiet coastline somewhere. Belfast looks like a good place. Then go over there. Should be a bit safer than training out in the North Sea. Right, we've started to get our basic stuff come through here. Choice between concentrated and dispersed industry. There's not a whole lot to pick. If you think you're going to get bombed a lot, go dispersed. If you're going to otherwise go concentrated. I honestly don't think there's a huge difference to worry about with either of these. So I'm going to assume our Royal Air Force is going to defend our skies. And I'm going to go concentrated, which will be fine. Oh, we've also got points to spend, which is really cool. So we could do with... Oh, that would be nice to change, but we can't. We can move to limited conscription. I don't think we need to just yet, so that's okay. And export, we can leave it on export focused. So let's have a look at advisors that we've got. Now, at the moment, there's probably not going to be an awful lot to there. There's a silent workhorse, which does give us extra political power. However, you've got to bear in mind, it takes a while to pay off the cost. So it's not amazing. Democratic reformer we don't need yet. The war industrialist. Now, this would allow us to build military factories, dockyards and stuff faster. And we've got Ernest Bevan as well, who builds lots of stuff faster. But I wouldn't say that's urgent just yet. What would be useful is if we can pick a chief of the army. Oh, look at this. Alan Brooke. He would give us 0.4 experience daily, which is more than the rest. I like these guys. He gives us division speed 15%. That's quite a big difference. But we get 10% defense there, or we get 10% attack there. It's kind of hard. I'm going to save up. I'm going to get Alan Brooke because he gives us most experience. I think that's going to be the thing to do. So when this gets to 200, we'll put him in. And the reason I want more military experience first is so that we can design our division templates a bit better. Right, we have enough fuel. I'm going to send the submarines out to train. We will get the big fleets training, and we'll organise the fleets nearer the time as well when we need them. So we've got reinforce the Empire. Service overseas just gives us some free experience, which is nice. So anything else we can do, apart from getting the motorised army, which I don't think that helps us. Should we pick up home defence? Just gives us some coastal forts. And base war support, which isn't a bad thing. Do you know what? We'll go for that one. A bit of experience will do us good. We've got to defend the Empire. The Empire is going to be very, very important to hold on to. Right, we've got 200 points. We go and put our Chief of the Army, Alan Brooke, in there. And that's going to start generating experience here as well, that's going to be very, very useful. And we've got the Hawker Hurricane, which is excellent. Oh, and construction. Everything's come right at once. Brilliant. So we can... Oh, we also need to develop a carrier variant of this. So let's do that so we get some carrier fighters. It won't take us long to research. Let's see. Now then, we can have strategic bombers. We can have heavy fighters. You can do without heavy fighters altogether. We're going to do without tactical bombers because they have a niche role. We don't need them as the UK. They're good for their extra range, but I found that they're not really effective at doing any one particular job. So we are going to have strategic bombers, and I might do heavy fighters. I might. They're not super urgent to do. It should be pointed out, but we might do it. What have we got over here? This would allow us to get extra resources, which I think we can manage. Over in the Navy, I think we should probably develop 1936 submarines. The naval side for the UK is really, really quite important. Although we should be developing better tanks as well, because we want to get to the medium one. So I'm going to pick that out. We are making some at the moment of the basic light tanks. We'll stick our Hurricanes in there. What we kind of really need are more military factories. So we're going to get on that job fairly soon. As soon as this is done, in fact. And then we are going to start crafting some. Alright, what's going on? We're starting to get some experience racking up. That's going to be really useful. How's our forces doing around the world? Our Mediterranean garrisons. Far East. Who's this one? They're still training. West Africa. Oh, let's see how these guys are doing. So you are on... you're on there. Tell you what we might need to do. Like supply, there's no supply going through here, so you either have a very long supply line. This is going to be rough once we get like proper military units in here. And you can either not bother with it and try and just hope to take the next port and use that as a supply base to then jump onto the next one. You see there's a massive gap through there. Or you can build a supply depot in there and connect it up via rail. That's quite a valid thing to do. This needs connecting, by the way. Let's make sure that's connected, actually. It doesn't need to be great, and we don't need to put a lot of effort into it at the moment, but we should have it connected at least. We should probably try and connect that up as well, going north to south. I'm just expecting problems later on down the line. It's not an essential thing, so we can throw that down to the bottom of the list, but Africa supply, it is an issue. Okay, so we've got the extra research speed from that, which is going to be nice. What should we get next? We could go for... If we're really wanting to focus on troops out in Africa, we could go for logistics companies, which we can add them in, and that reduces supply consumption. It's a useful thing to have. There's all sorts of other useful things to have, though, at the start of the game. So, but I will research the basic infantry equipment. We'll get those going. Right, come on then, UK. How we're looking? How are our armies training up? We have, well, I don't know. This is going to be 7th Armoured, is it? We've got some work to do with that. We've got service overseas. Now we're getting onto some cool stuff over here. So we can encourage the colonial elite. This basically just gives us 7% research speed, which is it's a nice bonus to everything. This one, this gives fortify the empire. Now this gives us land fort construction speed. And we get 3 coastal forts and naval bases in Alexandria and air bases. Okay. Oh, naval bases? Maybe I should stop building that other one then, because I think I can maybe get it for free there. Let's grab that and just go into construction, and we just take one out of that, because it might be we might get one dumped in there. So, yeah, I maybe should have looked that up further earlier and not worried about it. Okay, so Field Marshal Alan Brooke, he's got the defensive doctrine. We'll put him on organization first, which increases his reinforce rate. Charismatic's quite nice as well. We're trying to try and get that too later. Just gives division recovery, which helps them get back in action a bit faster. But reinforce rate's kind of important at the start of the game. Or at least when the war starts early on. By later on in the war, it's a bit easier to manage. Our experience is growing nicely. Let's go and have a look at the troops that we've got. So, the good old infantry division. This isn't a bad template, actually. It starts off pretty good. just a generic defensive infantry force, I could go with this. What can we put in there? We're probably going to want lots of other things like support. We're not actually building anti-aircraft guns. We need to get on that. But we could put cavalry recon in, as we've got, and I'm going to just boost this up to an extra infantry in there. So it's got a combat width of 20. This isn't necessarily the optimal size to go for anymore, but it's a good size that works. And this is going to be like a purely defensive force for blocking enemy units. It's no good for attacking, but it's good for holding positions. And that's going to reinforce our infantry divisions around the world like that. Cool. So our colonial ones, now it's called colonial. It's just a template name. It doesn't matter. What we could do is we could give these guys artillery or engineers and just use these to garrison things and hold ports and stuff. That's not a bad thing to do either. I'll hold off and we'll save our experience for now, though. I don't think it's essential. It's not a bad template, just a 6-strong infantry division. It's cheap, it's reasonably effective. And we've got the Gloucester Sea Gladiator, so we can build fighters to go on our carriers. So for 1936, that we could leave the aircraft there for now. Let's go and catch up with our submarines. We are going to get some of those. We are going to want some of those for sure. And we can modify the government. So we can put like Chief of the Navy in. There's no oh, what's this guy? Decisive Battle Specialist. He gets less naval experience than the others. And naval maneuver. I think that's probably the one to go for if we do. Air reformers, night operations. Don't see any of those are essential. And we can start putting military high command in if we want. Now these, he's good. Like just 10 and 15% bonuses for infantry divisions. Things like that are really, really good. We don't need them just yet, though. I don't think there's anything in there that gives you extra military experience. So we don't need to worry too much about that just now. A theorist. Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. Don't think we're going to go with that one. So I'm not worried about that. But all these do is they make the doctrines a bit cheaper in here. So I'm not going to go with the Grand Battle Plan because I find this a little bit boring, to be quite honest. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as exciting as superior firepower, which we are going to go for on this one. So I'll wait and see if we get some bonuses to get this cheaper before switching over. So I think that's more of a fun thing to do. So we still have these points to spend. Should we find ourselves... Where's the war industrialist? We're going to put him in to speed up the production of military factories, which are going to be coming very soon, in fact. In fact, let's put a few more on now in Yorkshire. So I'm going to put one... Can we put... Oh, we're nearly maxed out. Oh, I've messed that up. Okay. There will be more space in Yorkshire later, I promise. We'll expand that. And let's put that to the top of the list and get a couple going there. So Italy has been successful out in Ethiopia. So we're going to need like at least 3 armies here. We need one for this border, a big one for this one, and a smaller one to hold this. And if we do it right, we can hold all those areas. Meanwhile, let's take a sneaky look at the Navy. Submarines are all trained up. That'll do for now. And that's fine. And we've got these guys. You should be on automatic split off, right? Because these guys look dead. Let's go and repair them. Get it sorted. Oh, we've got 2 submarines down there. Nice. Let's put those into the group. And we've got this huge, great big mob of, like... I mean, these are big... Oh, no, there's all the destroyers in here as well. There's also 2 submarines, which somehow got missed before. Let's put them back in there. I'm going to break off all the destroyers. So we can see 128. Let's go for a new theatre. And let's pick someone who's going to be any good at this job. Who's he got? A green water expert? A career off? I'll put John Cunningham in. It turns out he's probably not going to be that good at the job, but it's fine. He will learn as he goes. Let's see. This is going to be a lot to train up in one go. Probably a bit too much. And we'll... How many do we need? We need some destroyers to work as screens for this. We've got 30 light cruisers. They make a pretty good screen, actually. So if I had 30 light cruisers, I could probably have 8 capital ships in one big fleet, which would be amazing. So I'm going to break that off. We're going to go all light cruisers. Yeah, this is going to be the big main fleet, and I'll tell you where it's going to operate as well. So let's also... And we're going to go for 8 ships. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 battleships and 4 cruisers or battle cruisers. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an interesting combination we've got going on there. And that means we can have 4 carriers as well. I'm not going to put all 4 in though, because I want 2 for other jobs. So we're going to have Courageous and Furious. There we go. This is going to be a strike force. And an air controller. Let's put this guy in here. And can we put some points? Yes, we can. A cruiser captain. A minecraft. A destroyer leader. Well, out of those options, I'm going to make him a cruiser captain. Now, that being said, maybe I will... What does that give us, actually? Light cruisers, as which we've got in the screen, which is going to be amazing, and heavy cruisers. And fly swatter. Naval AA attack. Oh, I can't afford it because we haven't got the points. I'll have to come back to that and look at that, because that looks pretty useful. We are going to train this one up, but also new theatre, and we'll just call it Strike Force, because that's what these guys are going to be used for. We might add some destroyers into this, actually. In fact, let's put some in as some extra screens, as we've got enough. It's a fairly big fleet, is that one? Oh, did I not put the guy in? Oh, have I done the wrong one? I think I've done the wrong one. Yeah, idiot. Idiot. Hang on. All, thank you very much. All destroyers. Which should give us 14. Right, and then we switch that over. And so, you go over there. You then go over there. No, that doesn't work out. Hang on, where's all my light cruisers? Was I right? Was I right originally? I was right originally. I'm an idiot. What am I doing? No, hang on. That was correct. So, yeah, put them back. And this is my... Yeah, this is all the other stuff. Okay, right. Yes, I am a proper tool. Let's put him back up there. This is quite a big fleet then. And I've got the wrong guy in there now, haven't I? Yeah, we'll put... Oh, we've got another air guy in there. You can go in there. I want the one I originally thought. Where's he gone? The air controller. Wait a minute, there should be another air controller. Let's get rid of these first and come back to this. I feel like I am making a mess of that strike force. So, we can fortify Gibraltar, which isn't a bad idea. We get some air bases and stuff. I want this one, though. I want the 7% research speed. Right, let's go back down here and see what we've got. So, let's just make sure. We've got 2 carriers. Check. 4 battleships, 3 battle cruisers, and 1 cruiser. That's a point, actually. That air controller I was going to put in. Let's have a look. Who the hell was it? It's someone I've lost somewhere. Was it Bruce Fraser? Right, put someone else in there for the time being. Right, let's see. My proper... Was it this guy? Was that the one? It wasn't, actually. This is another one. But that's not a bad option either. Where's he gone? I've lost him. Somewhere I've got the wrong guy. It wasn't John Cunningham. I'm sure it wasn't John Cunningham. Nope, it wasn't him. Okay, well, somewhere there was somebody else who was an air controller who now has vanished from sight in the game, and I don't know how. I don't know how that happened or what I clicked on. But let's see. What have you actually got? Oh, he does have it. Okay, so that is... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing then. I'm looking at the wrong thing, obviously. But there was some guy who made a bloody heavy cruiser thing. You see, even I have difficulty with this game. So let me have another look. There's got to be a guy in here that we've given these stats to. Who was it? Was it Cunningham? I don't think it was Cunningham. But he's got this. So let's go concealment X. Oh, I can't. I haven't got the points. Right. I'm going to put him in there and leave it. It's fine. That mystery admiral who's vanished somewhere. I'm sure you guys can just rewind the video and tell me exactly who it was, because I can't see him for love and the money. Right, research. What did we get? I forget what we got now. We're in November 36. Anything in engineering? I think we're doing okay. Let's pick up the logistics company. We'll get that going. See, I'm preparing for war around the empire, and I should probably be a bit more worried about what's going to happen in France. We kind of know France gets overrun. It's really hard to defend it. Right, King Edward abdicates. Good riddance. So we get King George VI, which gives us a huge boost of stability. Very popular figurehead. And we have some free dockyards, which are very nice. So we're going to put the effort into more destroyers for now. Just for now. And they can go onto the Reserve Fleet 1. And whilst that's thing... Yeah, this is all heavy stuff here. So what we want is like a cruiser captain in here. Let's unassign him. Take him out of there. I don't need an admiral in there anyway. Okay, so how are we doing with our deployment of new forces? We're really short on materials here, so let's make sure we're getting these built. We want some more factories built. Up in Cumbria, let's give some of this. This gives us... I think this gives us a bonus to crafting now. So let's see, what have we got? That's done. I am going to go and get strategic bombers. I mean, I do want strategic bombers, but we are quite far behind. I could start building these, which we do need. We've got that being researched, so that's okay. Excellent, and then we can probably stop there. We don't need to build a lot of capital ships as the UK. We start off with a good selection, so that's fine. I'd kind of like to do something with heavy tanks in this playthrough, because heavy tanks, I think, are fun. They're not necessarily optimal, but when I say fun, I mean, like, we don't often see them used, right, do we, when we're watching playthroughs of this? And there is a reason for that. They're expensive, and they're not really necessary playing against the AI. But, that being said, I still think it'd be fun to do something with them as a bit of a challenge. I'm going to get excavation, so we get more stuff dug out of the ground. Right, then, we have our Matilda. We'll go and change the production on that. We may as well get that. Needs to go somewhere, and I've got nothing else I really need to research at the moment, so that's okay. We're only making a few light tanks. Light tanks are useful early on in the war. Not bad in the early Desert War, actually. But long term, they're not amazing. Okay, so what we're going to do... Encourage a colonial elite. Excellent. We have forces forming here. We're going to put these in the UK. We want a really good defensive... Well, I say a really good. We don't need a really good defensive general. What we need is someone who's defensive but not really good at anything else. Henry Wilson might be the guy. Because these guys aren't going to attack. This is the one. Brian Horrocks. Yeah, he's a war hero as well. Someone else that we probably wouldn't use anywhere else. Henry Pownall. I don't know who he is. Never heard of him. Merton Beckworth Smith. He's a commando. He's got terrible stats. And Tom Moore, the jungle rat. Just jungle movement, attack and defense. He could be our guy out east, I guess. Let's put this guy in. For no particular reason other than we can. And we can give him guerrilla fighter, entrenchment speed. Let's take it. That's actually quite suited. So what we're going to do, I'll come back to that. Let's get this done. So we have 7% research speed, fortify East Asia, This just gives us... Oh, it gives us dockyards and civilian factories in Hong Kong. All right, Commonwealth ties. Encourages... Is that a good thing to go for? I also think that it could probably be held off as well. Ah, here we go. This is what we want. So air defence will give us maximum anti-air in East Anglia, Sussex and South West England. That's cool. And the Shadow Scheme, this grants 4 building slots and 4 military factories when entering a war, which is actually quite good to have. It's just a bonus. It's basically the UK was rearming for war, but tried to do it secretly. That's effectively what happened. So when we go to war, we suddenly get a bonus of industry, which is kind of cool. We've got power to modify that, and we were going to do this. So the job of this army here, as much as I want to send troops overseas, question is, do I want to do that first, actually? Do I want to do that first? We haven't got long. We really haven't got long. Yeah, okay, I will. And then I will maybe draw this guy out and put someone else in. Yes, put someone else in charge. I want someone a bit better. This is suddenly going to be a more important position. Someone who has decent defensive stats. Doesn't need to be amazing. Actually, this guy's quite good and has good supply. So, Henry Wilson. We laughed at him before. We won't now. He's going in here. We're going to try and hold this section against Italy. There's a lot to hold. There's an awful lot to hold. Let's. We're going to get some more guys coming out there, so that's fine. Let's see. Modify the government. What should we do? What should we do? Tank designers. I don't feel the need for any of those. Do we have anything cool in here? Air base construction speed. There's nothing really exciting that we get. I think this might change up a bit later. We could have a chief of the navy, which isn't about... Oh, we don't have the command points, so we'll forget about that. Aircraft designers, ship designers. What will that give us? Escort fleet, Atlantic fleet. It's extra naval research speed. And this one gives us screens, max range and sub-detection. I think that's a good one. Coastal defense fleets. Anything? That's just... No, that's not great. Okay, I am going to go for this. Oh, increases production cost. But everything else I think is quite good. So, that's maybe a controversial pick. I like to win the naval war as the UK. I think it's kind of one of the most important things to do. Right then, free civilian factories. Can we get some military factories going? Yeah, let's put 2 up in Yorkshire now. Let's get that on there. And it is time to start arming for war properly. We will actually want to do... Let's get some more infrastructure. Somewhere where we've got some space to build. Actually, we can slap them in there. We've only got 1 to do. That'll be quick to do. And then we can get the factories built a bit faster afterwards. So, nice. More soldiers coming online. They'll instantly go out overseas. And in fact, as we're going into Africa, let's put them into this group here. We don't have a field marshal over here. So let's change that. Let's put Bernard Montgomery. We have points to spend, but we don't have power to buy them with. That's okay. I'll try and remember to do that before the war kicks off. Right, lots going on. And as you see, it's like it feels like an effort with the UK to get everything ready because there is so much to try and get ready for. It's a good challenge, and I really like it. But there is a lot to keep an eye on. Okay, we are in 1937, which means we've got the next level of industry. Let's go straight in, and we will go production efficiency cap on there. Everything industry, we've got to get that going as fast as possible, basically.